Hey everybody, this is Mike with Free Roaming Hiker, and I am on my way up to a destination along the Gros Ventre Highline Trail in the Gros Ventre Wilderness called the Boulder Basin. And this is probably going to be about an 8-mile round trip hike. And right now I'm still kind of in the early parts. I'm ascending up toward a ridge line where I'll cross over and start heading over into the basin. So this early section is pretty steep and a little tiring, which is why I welcome the chance to record this. But you can see some nice views through the trees. It's definitely starting to open up, and it is a really pretty hike. I don't know if you're coming to the area, I don't know if it's worth skipping like Grand Teton or Yellowstone to come do this hike, but if you're already in the area, it is a really beautiful hike and there is lots of fun stuff to see. So if you want to just live vicariously through this, then let's go do it. And this is also not a very traveled trail. Not a lot of people come and do this hike, or this trail for that matter. So there is a lot of brush poking into the trail. It's pretty thick. So if you don't want things brushing up on your legs, it's a good idea to wear long. And in addition to that, despite the forest, it is pretty exposed. Only a few little breaks of shade here and there. And steep, but definitely starting to pay off back there. You can see some of those views. So some really nice views up here. Nice mountain scenery. Definitely starting to come out. So I am at the top of the ridge line after a beast of a climb. As you can see, the views behind me have definitely opened up a lot more. Really pretty. And that first climb is a couple of miles, but while there's still some elevation change, it's not going to be nearly anything that steep, or at least not for very long. So you should be able to make some decent time moving forward from here. And you'll see the topography and the environment change a little bit as we get up more on this windswept ridge. One thing you can also see up here, those burned trees. So there was definitely a forest fire up here. Judging by the size of some of these younger pine trees, I'd say it was probably 15 or 20 years ago. So forest is coming back with some nice meadows up here for now. Some of them will probably stick around, but lots more to see. As you can probably see, the wildflowers are pretty incredible right now. If you're wondering, I am hiking this in early July. You could probably shoot for mid-July. This past winter was pretty warm, so a lot of the snow melted early, and whether that's the norm from now on, who knows. But yeah, I'm in early to mid-July, and the wildflowers look like they're peaking pretty much now. So take that to heart if you're looking to do this. The trail has definitely leveled out a lot more. Lots of nice aspen groves been going through, and wildflower meadows, some great views. And yeah, that first climb is really the intense part. After that, there is still some elevation change, but it's not as steep as coming up that first mile and a half or so. And right now, just wandering around the other side of that ridge that you climb up. So you kind of go off west or southwest and then swing back around and start cutting north. So a lot of nice views of distant mountains. Wyoming range back there, southern Gros Ventre. In terms of water, I have not seen any yet, aside from Granite Creek, which is at the trailhead. So I did this hike last fall, and definitely in the fall there was no water. So I drank and hydrated before I left for the trail, which is something I always do. You should do that anyway. Be hydrated when you start a trail. That's just good practice. And then I've got about 2.5 liters with me, and that should be enough to get me through. But you definitely want to know your limits and know where you stand. If you're coming from closer to sea level, remember you are going pretty high up here, so not quite the tree line, but not too far below it. So there's definitely elevation that will play a factor, and just know what you can do on a steep trail with limited to no water. If there is water coming up, I will let you know. But like I said, last fall I did this and there was no water at all, so be prepared for that. So I'm now at the point where the trail is just winding through some drainages on mostly exposed hillsides. And then I actually see Boulder Basin right back there. So the trail is going to wind through those little drainages, past those hills. And that's the top of the Boulder Basin back there. I'm getting close to the destination. It's going to be a little bit longer and then we'll be there. If I were going to find water, it would be in these drainages, and they are all looking pretty dry. You can see up there, they are fed by snow, but that probably only happens for a few weeks, if that, once the trail is hikeable. And so they are all looking pretty dry. That's the top of the ridge. There's no mountains above that where the snow could be hiding. So expect this trail to be dry if you come and do it. And bring an appropriate amount of water. The Boulder Basin is just ahead. I can see it now. Looks like we're going to be a little bit more than 4 miles. I'll let you know the exact total when I get there. But at the same time, despite all my preaching about hydration and bringing enough water, I allowed myself to get a little dehydrated. Currently at less than 1 liter. So it's a warm day, and it being early July, I haven't done a lot of high elevation hikes since that season is just now getting started. So don't want to push it. I also want to reach the end, so I'm going to try and get as close as I can. Doesn't look like it's too far, but I definitely prefer to play it safe, so we'll see what happens. probably going to call this the end of the line pretty soon. Found this nice shady grove, and the good news is there is some rushing water down there. I'm going to try and get hydrated, fill up on some more water, and got a nice view of the Boulder Basin back there. So I don't think I'm going to go much farther. Just going to get hydrated, have a snack, some food, rest for a little bit, and then start heading out. So it turns out the trail doesn't go right up to the Boulder Basin. It kind of goes in this little grove, goes down to the creek, and continues west. So I'm going to call it here. I don't know how I'm going to be here because there's a lot of flies buzzing around me, and I did not stay down by the creek because there were even more bugs. So total mileage I logged for this hike was 4.25 one way. But at the same time, my phone wasn't recording quite right in the beginning. So the actual mileage is that. And that is one way, so round trip, just double that. But yeah, a beautiful hike. Definitely lots of great wildflowers, lots of great birds, and even saw a young mule deer buck on the way up. And yeah, a beautiful hike, but a little out of the way, depending on where you are and where you're staying. So look for a write-up in the description. I'll have on my website if you want to read more about it, see more pictures, things like that. And thanks for watching. Happy trails.